So good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to a Brilliant Businesses podcast. I'm Nick Bryant, and we're doing something a bit different today because I've invited Ian Shearer in from Fizz on Foot. Morning, Ian.
Morning.
Is it morning? It could be. Because Ian's going to talk about some of the successes he's had from the podcast that we did together last year. But I think to start off with, which will be important, is Ian, tell us about your business anyway so people can understand it, and then we can talk about the success stories you've had.
Okay. Well, since I retired, I became very bored, and then this business developed. We started off with doing walking and wine tasting tours where we take people on the South Downs National Park, Ashdown Forest. We've got about 30 different walks. Yeah. And then we have a pub lunch, and then we go to a vineyard, and there's over 200 in this area now, so we've got plenty of choice. Yeah. And that developed into wine pairing dinners, which we do, where we do wines throughout the world, not just English wine, although we do cover English wine as well. Yeah. And then wine tasting evenings, where we have a platter of cold meat and cheeses, and we do 5 different wines. That's been very successful. And then over the last 3 months, we developed into another area, which is corporate dining, because people coming down to this area, they stay at a large Airbnb with swimming pools and tennis courts, and they want things to do. Yeah. So we've actually launched into the catering business as well. So we're actually turning up and giving them a wine tasting evening together with normally salad and cold meats, but it's been very, very successful, and we've done our 5th one now, so we're hoping that will grow. Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, we also do wine and cheese hampers, wine and chocolate hampers. In fact, wine and anything hampers. That's the basis of the business. Okay. It's interesting how it's merged into the catering side, isn't it? Yeah. I guess we were talking about it earlier, and but as we were saying, I think when wine comes along, people expect food. So yes. It's a natural thing, isn't it? It is. It is very much so. Yeah.
So let's go in, because it was last August we did the podcast. Yes. You told me a few things that have happened along the way, which I've been so proud about, and you've been so kind to mention them at networking meetings we've been at, about the good response you've had. Let's just run through.
Yes, we've had some amazing results. We had a major retailer contact us. I can't mention the name, unfortunately, but. Yeah. Taking their managers out for a walk and wine tasting, which was very nice. Yeah. We've also had an inquiry from Belgium, which again is good because it gets us into the international market, and they're an events company, so hopefully things from that will grow. Yes. We've also had an inquiry which was last year, but it's turned into business this year, which is a huge accountancy practice in London. They're taking all their staff out for a walking wine tasting tour, and that's just materialised now, and we're doing that in about 2 weeks' time. And that's 24 of their members of their staff. That's amazing. That's quite good. And several other small tours, small group tours as well. So it's been definitely worthwhile. It's definitely grown the business, and I can recommend it to anyone.
Thanks, mate. I really appreciate that. So the podcast that we filmed, you put it on. You've embedded it in your website as well, haven't you? So I think that's a really important thing, because even though people may go to your website and decide to use you, it strengthens it up so much when they can see you and hear you talking about the business, which is what you've done, and it's obviously worked. Yes.
Well, I had phone calls from people that I was at art college with, and one of them lives in Greece, 2 of them live in France, and they phoned me and said, "I've just listened to your podcast." So it didn't just get listened to in this country. Yeah. It obviously went further afield. Yeah. So it's great. And the word spreads.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's a great thing about it, because once it's on that YouTube channel and on the internet, it's out there forever. Yes. And long may it continue. Ian, thank you. I mean, it's a short podcast, but I wanted to invite you in so that we can, talk about the success story, but also hear about your businesses developing as well.
Yes, well, it's been great, and I can only thank you because it's obviously added a lot to our business.
Yeah,
thank you.
Thanks, mate. If anyone wants to appear on the podcast, please just get in touch. All my details are on the Brilliant Businesses website. Just one little shout out, you've got new glasses.
Yes, I have.
Richard from iMasters?
Yes, it was.
Yes, so let's give Richard a little plug as well. Because whenever we go to a networking meeting, Richard goes there as well, doesn't he? And a lot of people in the room have got these lovely glasses on. And it's Richard from iMasters. I'll leave his details underneath this podcast as well, so you can get in touch with him. So thanks very much, and we'll see you for another one soon. Cheers.
Thank you very much. Thank you.